Chapter 1. Okay, Chapter 1. You must make top 5 list or YouTube will delete your account? Shoot. Alright, better get on this. I haven't done that yet. I've been doing this a couple months. Alright, top 5 list. Let me type one up quick. I don't know. Do I even know 5 games? Probably not. I'll just make them up as I go. Where's the record button? Where's the record? Okay, hit record. Alright, fix my hair before anyone sees me. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a top 5 games that kind of define gaming for me. I've been planning this video out for months and months, not 30 seconds, months, okay? I got this list on my phone. It's been typed in here for months. We're going to go over it. And this isn't in any particular order. Number 5 isn't the lowest on my list. This is going to be just kind of in whatever order. And if you watch the podcast I do with Phenomar 3 Controller Dream podcast, that's on Spotify and iTunes, we also discuss this in the podcast, but I'm going to just kind of go over it here in case you don't want to watch the whole thing. Maybe you're not in a podcast. So let's start. Number 1, we're going to go with Mario, right? Everyone loves Mario. I remember specifically that Mario for me started, I had a Super Nintendo way back in the day. I don't know exactly when I got it, but I got it. I had one at my dad's and my mom's, which I thought was top tier at the time. I had Super Mario Bros. All-Stars. And that had like a collection. It was like the first 4 Super Mario games. I remember my dad and I played that a lot. I was super into it. That was like the first game that like I would come home from school, do my homework, eat dinner, and just play all night. It was the first game like that for me. It was huge for me. Who doesn't love Mario? Let's look up a little info on Super Mario All-Stars too, okay? Super Mario All-Stars. Okay, so it came out in 1993, but I was born in 92, so I had to have got it later than that. I don't remember exactly when I got a Super Nintendo. But yeah, it came out in North America in August of 93. I don't know when I got it, but I really liked it. I think I remember my favorite being, I don't even know, Super Mario Bros. 3. That was my favorite one at the time. And now, like, I know a little bit more about Mario. I'll go back and I've gone back and played the others, but at the time, that one was my favorite. So I was really into that. So that's number 5 on my list. Let's see. Next up, Legend of Dragoon. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have played this, but this was the game that really got me into, like, RPGs before I played any Final Fantasy, before I played any Dragon Quest, before I played any of that. I played Legend of Dragoon, and it was a turn-based combat style, which I love, and it was better graphics than Final Fantasy VII, kind of better than Final Fantasy VIII even. Not quite Final Fantasy X level, but they were really good. The story was good at the time. It maybe hasn't aged very well, but I still have it, right? I still have it. Look at that. 4 discs, which Final Fantasy VII did that, but when I was this age, I didn't play that yet. I didn't have that. I had this. Where I got this, I don't know. I'm assuming my dad, who bought me my first PlayStation 2, because I didn't have a PlayStation 1. I had a PlayStation 2 to start with. I'm assuming he saw this and saw like dragons and stuff and was like, yeah, he'd like this. I'm missing disc 2 though. So hope one day I'd love to get the full set again, or just buy an additional disc 2. If I had to pick one game from the past that they would remake or remaster or anything, it would be this one. Even if they just release it again, like even if they put out the original game, like original graphics and everything on the PS5, I 100% would rebuy it. So let's look up this, right? Let's get some info on this. I know some info, but I want to make sure I'm correct. So Legend of Dragoon, it came out in 2000 in North America. I don't think I got it around that time though. PlayStation 2. What year did the PlayStation 2 come out? PlayStation 2 came out, it was announced in 99, released in 2000. So maybe I did get it at launch. I'm not really sure. I got a PlayStation 2 at Christmas, maybe the year it came out or maybe the year after. I'm not entirely sure. From my dad. So I might have got this game along with it, or maybe like for a birthday after, but I remember playing this game a ton. And I don't think I finished it when I first played it because I was younger. In 2000, I would have been, 8. I would have been 8. So I'm assuming he definitely didn't know what ratings meant because it's T for teen. So that game was really fun. And I remember it came out at one point on the PS3 on the PlayStation Store. I bought it again, and I did finish it that time. But that is huge. This set right here is probably the one video game I would never sell, ever. Ever. Like, I have physical copies of other things. Like, I got Breath of the Wild right here, and then the steel case of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is beautiful. Look at that art. Focus. Look at that. That looks beautiful. I don't think I'd sell the steel case, but, like, I played Breath of the Wild enough. I could get rid of it if I needed to, but I will never get rid of this. So, there's that. Next up, Golden Sun. Golden Sun was a Game Boy Advance game, right? And I loved it. And there's a little bit of a funny story behind Golden Sun, and I probably told this on the podcast too. So when I was younger, I had a Game Boy Advance, and we went to go to my aunt's one day, and there was a guy sleeping in our van, like literally like a guy sleep, like some stranger. And for a long time after that situation, because we had to call the cops, it was a whole big thing, I couldn't find my Game Boy. So I was dead set that he stole it. And my mom was like, there's no way he stole it. But we looked and looked and looked. We can never find it. So finally she caved. I was like, okay, I'll get you a new one. So I got a cool Game Boy Advance SP, like the flip ones. And I loved those. And the game that was in the Game Boy when I lost it was Golden Sun. But the game that my mom let me buy a game when I got the SP, which is going to come up on the list. But we did end up finding the Game Boy later in like a really weird spot. It was probably one of those things where as a kid, I'm like, I'm going to hide it here so no one finds it. And then I forgot. But this game was huge for me, at least. Again, that and Legend of Dragoon, like the turn-based combat, I was so into that at the time. And I remember I got it for Christmas. Again, I got a lot of games for Christmas. And this game came out in 2001, and the sequel came out like a year later in 2002, because I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they wanted it to be like one game, but it was too long. And I really loved that. Like the first one was kind of like the classic RPG, like the first mission is you're learning like at school or like from a scholar, and then the last mission was like fighting like a giant dragon god thing. And then the second one really flipped it, and it gave you a perspective from the kind of the enemy side, and it was really great. I loved that a lot. And I played that game so many times. And again, I probably don't have it because I think all of my Game Boy games ended up going to my brother at one point when I kind of moved on. But I really wish I could go back to that. Maybe I'll find an emulator. Maybe I'll stream that. If anyone's watching this and wants that, comment that down below. So that was really good. It had a really good antagonist with Satros and Minardi, and it was just really fun. It had like the 4 distinct party members, and then it had like the Jin system and the summons. Like that was the first time I ever played like a turn-based game with summons and stuff, and I really loved that. So that was huge in my like turn-based development, because that led me on to like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and then nowadays games like Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default. All of my love for that spawned from like Golden Sun and Legend of Dragoon. So I'm really into that. Next game on my list, Pokemon. I love Pokemon, and if I had to rank the games in order, Pokemon would probably be number 1. I'm serious about Pokemon. I got angle this. Come on now. I have a Pokemon tattoo. That's how serious I am about Pokemon. Pokemon Ruby, 3rd gen, was the first one I ever played. I went back and played the first 2, and I've played every gen since then. I did not finish Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Spoiler. But I have played every gen since then, and I love Pokemon. That's like a huge part of like my gaming development was Pokemon. I thought it was so fun. There was strategy. There was team building. That was the first time I really experienced like team building, like diverse, like, because like Golden Sun, you got 4 characters, and those are you use. I guess in Legend of Dragoon you had like, how many characters do you have? You had like 8 characters, so you could do more with that. But this was the first time like you really like grew, evolved, and could like really plan your party out. And I was really into that at the time, and I still am into that. Like I have a lot of Pokemon videos on my channel, and I'm really psyched for the Diamond and Pearl remakes and Legends Arceus. I'll definitely do videos on those. I'll probably even stream, probably stream them. Yeah. So those were huge in my development with a lot of people. Pokemon is such a huge thing, and it gets a lot of flack every time a new game comes out. But there's also so much value, especially for me, and especially in nostalgic purposes, Like a lot of those games, I love seeing new Pokemon, but a lot of those games is like seeing my old favorites. And I remember my first ever starter was Torchic, which is why I probably always do Fire, because of that nostalgia thing. And this was the game when I got that Game Boy Advance SP after the other one disappeared. I got Pokemon Ruby. Why I got it, I'm not really sure. We were at the game store, we were looking, and I saw Pokemon and I wanted it because I like the show. So there's that. Gen 3. And I always say Gen 3 is my favorite gen. So last one. Number one. Not number one, but number one on my list. And there's a reason I saved it for last. Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is confusing and the story is convoluted, and I would maybe do things differently, but I love it. When I got that PlayStation 2 back in the day, I got Kingdom Hearts with it, and that was the first like RPG that was more like action adventure, and I loved it. Because, that was, back in 2000-ish. When did Kingdom Hearts come out? Maybe that'll give me a little hint on when I got this PlayStation 2. Kingdom Hearts 1. No, not that one. Kingdom Hearts 1. Maybe I should have Googled all this and wrote it down before I did this video. Good idea for next time. Games. Okay, so that came out in September of 2002 in North America. And I'm guessing that means I got the PlayStation in 2002. I'm guessing. Because I got Kingdom Hearts with it for Christmas. So that had to have been that. And Kingdom Hearts 2... Yeah, I got the PlayStation 2 with it. Kingdom Hearts was huge. Like, the Disney... Like, I was still pretty young at that point. I was only, like, 10. So, like, that was pretty cool. And then, like, all these Final Fantasy characters for these games that I was just slowly starting to discover was cool. My first time seeing Cloud and Sephiroth were in Kingdom Hearts, and obviously now going back I know their whole stories, but that was like a big cool thing for me. And then Kingdom Hearts 2, I saved up my own money to go buy that. I remember that. Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably one of the first games I ever like muted my TV and played until the wee hours of the morning. I have a very specific memory of having a TV in my room, and I muted the game in Kingdom Hearts 2 in the Lion King world, in Simba's kingdom, and there's like that giant like elephant heartless thing, and I remember I played that like till like 2 in the morning, and I kept losing to it probably, and I had to restart. But yeah, so that was that. And the reason I saved Kingdom Hearts for last is because this is going to be the next big thing that I do on my stream. I'm going to start streaming 2 days a week. I don't know exactly when, but upcoming. And I'm going to play through the whole Kingdom Hearts series. I'm going to start at 1, and then I'm going to go through all of them. And then we'll end on Kingdom Hearts 3. And then maybe in 10 years when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, we'll do that too. But these are the top 5 games that really made gaming for me. Like, I have so many games that I love, but these are the games that like cemented gaming for me as like the big thing, right? So I just wanted to share that with everybody. And my book on rules about being a YouTuber told me I had to. So, if you're watching this, I want you to comment your top 5 games down below. Or if you can't think of 5, top 3, top 2, or just number 1. Like, what games made gaming your thing? That's what I wanted to know. So, thanks. Bye. Whew. Another video done. Wow. Thanks for watching. If you're already subscribed, thanks for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, what you doing? Hit the button. Let's go. It's right down there. Like button's down there too. You can comment. If you haven't, I'm disappointed. Bummed out. Let down. But you can hit the button. Subscribe to me on Instagram. Subscribe to me on Twitter. You can even subscribe to me on Twitch. Any of those. All of those. Any of them. Why haven't you? Is the guilt trip working? If it is, you should have hit the button. But if you already have, thanks. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time.